My name is Amol Nirgudkar. I'm the CEO of Patient Prism, and I'm excited to welcome Jon Fidler from Fidler Associates to our studios this morning. And then the topic is really executive recruiting and hiring and compensation, and you know, what's the right way to do all these things, right? Every DSO faces these challenges as soon as they get to 3-5 offices, and now they have to look for an executive team. Right. And a lot of times they're not equipped to hire somebody because they've never done that, right? You've hired hygienists, you've hired assistants, and sometimes you don't even hire the right ones because you don't know. I mean, we're not trained to recruit. As I've started many businesses over my course of my time, and I've learned the hard way of that if I'm not good at recruiting, I should not be doing that in the first place, right? So what is it? So the question I really have for you, that's a burning question among a lot of executives, among a lot of founders or top executives, is when you're looking for an executive candidate, whether it's a CFO, a CIO, yep, or a COO, right? What are the top 3 questions you ask when you're interviewing them, when you're trying to get the pool down to from like 10 to 6 to 3? Yep. What are those 3 top questions that you look for or you ask a particular candidate to make sure that they are going to be the right fit in the organization?
No problem. And I don't know if there's 3 specific questions, but there's 3 types of questions that we really ask and hone in on, and then those branch out into other questions. But you know, what I like to recommend is making sure folks, you know, number 1 is the personality. You know, you want to ask questions of what do you like to do in your free time, and that'll kind of give you a little bit of insight into the type of person they are to make sure that they're the right fit into the group. You know, the next questions that we like to do is more of the vision questions, and you know, what do you know about the company, and where do you see yourself over the next couple of years within the company? And I think what that does is that allows you to understand that they're on the same page moving forward, and have the same vision as you, because you don't want to get somebody in that has the right personality, but they just don't understand where the company's going. And then the last is the work history questions, and everybody phrases them a little bit different, but you know, tell me about your greatest work accomplishment, or tell me about you know, a time that you had a project that you learned the most on. And I think what that does is it should give you an opportunity to kind of see, hey, they have done this before, they're able to perform, and they've taken, you know, maybe an opportunity and learned from it, whether it's good or bad, that they won't do it again. And I think that helps them move forward with the process.
I mean, we've learned about all these behavioral interviewing techniques, right, over the years. It's like you put somebody in a situation, see how they would behave, or ask them tell me about your greatest challenge that you faced and how did you deal with it. Is that something that you guys go into as well?
Yeah, and I think what we try to dig into is when you ask those types of questions, and again, every owner, every group, everything's going to have different situations and different types of people that they're looking for. But what that does is it allows you to ask open-ended questions, and then it segments into, you know, 50 other questions that you can drill into depending upon what the needs are.
But how do you, because everybody says the right thing at the interview, right? Because everybody has come prepared, they know exactly what to say. There's a lot of people who can just spit out everything perfectly. So how do you, what do you do to kind of weed that out?
So what we try to do is ask questions that maybe are off the beaten path a little bit. You know, not just follow kind of your traditional tree questions. So, you know, maybe throw in there, you know, just something that makes them sit and think. And I think at that time, you're going to see by their body language, by their eye contact, by a lot of different things, you know, are they making this up, or are they really genuine and buy into it? And I think, you know, there's a lot of feeling in there. And so sometimes you're right, people are very well prepared, obviously, with all the resources online, and people know what's coming. But, you know, when somebody walks into a room, you should get that feeling that this is a person I can trust and that I can, you know, work with and move forward with.
Because you want to move beyond the gut, or the gut's good a lot of times, but sometimes gut's not good because you feel that, oh my God, they were amazing, but all of a sudden they turn out to be complete opposite of that. And you want to be careful of that. Personality-wise, I mean, do you recommend any personality profiling? Are you giving them some personality profiling questions?
So we do a couple of different ones that we can offer. So obviously DISC profiling is the big one that I think folks are familiar with that we can go into. And again, what we look for is basically what the owners are looking for. So if they are looking for somebody maybe that's a little bit more strategic or you know, numbers-oriented, data-driven, then we focus on those types of you know, tests. Or if they're looking for more of a feeling and they want somebody to come in and kind of help the morale or the culture within there. That might be a different type of person.
One of the things that I've learned over the years is, we tend, when I interview, I tend to find people like me, and that may not be the best person for that job, because I am this creative guy that likes to look at big picture, and if I'm looking for a CFO who's going to go deep and into the numbers, then that personality has to be, they can be like me. That's very important. That's why I shouldn't interview. And I've looked at this myself. I've made many mistakes over the years in having the right people, because I thought, my gut instinct, I want to hire people like me.
Right.
But obviously I want to hire the people with the same vision as me.
Yes.
But not necessarily the same skill set as me.
That's exactly right.
You want complementary skill sets, especially on an executive team, right?
Yeah, and I think that's maybe where somebody from the outside helping interview and getting some different perspectives on the type of person. It's a little bit of an ego check sometimes, because we all feel like we can do the best at everything. And so sometimes you need a little counterbalance maybe to dig in where, maybe you're not so strong.
And it's absolutely okay to hire somebody who you think is better than you, right?
I would always tell you, always hire somebody that's smarter than you, so it'll make your life a lot easier.
And my favorite saying has always been, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. and especially when it comes to executive searches, right?
Yes.
You want an executive team that does everything better than you.
Yep.
Obviously, you know what you're good at. Obviously, you started the company, and that's worth celebrating. But there's no harm in having people and giving them the responsibilities to really shine and outshine you.
Yep.
That should be wonderful for the organization.
Yep, I agree.
So the three, I guess, to summarize this, we look at personality, we look at work ethic, and we look at vision.
Yep.
And then everything that comes around surrounding that is where you kind of begin the process. But again, important aspect to remember in this is don't try this at home. I have, and I have failed. Whether you hire John or executive recruiting, whoever it is, you need some discipline and science in making sure that the fit's right, and the skill sets are right, personalities are right, vision's right, and sometimes having an outside perspective can make all the difference. So thank you for this wonderfully lively discussion.
Thank you,
John.